internet, my name is Lave, and this week I'm not going to do a movie review. I'm going to do something slightly different, which is totally inspired by another YouTuber called Cosplay Chris. If you don't know who he is, I highly recommend you go out and check his channel. He's got some great content. He does do movie reviews and he's clearly a fan of films, but his main focus on his channel is doing cosplay stuff and turning cheap toys and making them look more expensive. And in one of his videos he completely pimps out this Rocky picture. I'm kidding, this Hulkbuster sitting right next to me, and I saw it going for cheap on Amazon, so I thought I'm going to give it a go. I'm not going to do a detailed video because his video literally explains it step by step, and I'm going to follow that. This is really just to show it before and after, and then I'll tell you if I had any bad experience. If anything goes wrong, I bet it will, but let's see. I can't wait to give it a go. That's it. So welcome to what is my 100th video. I'll be your narrator, Lave, and the first order of business was taking the thing apart. Fairly easy to do, just some screws in the back. I did actually figure out how to take the headpiece off, but I left the chest piece on because I couldn't figure out how to take it off without breaking it. At this stage, I also drilled out all the holes, getting ready for the LEDs, and that's where I ran into my first problem. So Cosplay Chris used these things called top hat washers. I couldn't find those for shit, so I went to DIY stores and found these raw plugs, and I found that looking down them they look kind of like arc reactors. I thought that will do, so I chopped them up, and by complete coincidence a 5mm LED, which I got at Maplin's, I'll put links in the description, slots into them perfectly. There you go, pretty boss like arc reactor if I don't say so myself. And here I am just giving you a teaser really. It's a test run. Look at that, what an arc reactor, yeah. And just to prove that it all fits in perfectly with perfectly drilled holes, they pop in rather nicely. So the next stage was actually priming it. Okay, no it's not, I'm showing you the head here. I really have to fire my editor. I'm kidding, that's me. But I did also drill out the holes for the eyes, as you can see. I wanted to light those up. But any eagle-eyed viewers will notice that the primer I've used is different. Cosplay Chris used a grey primer. I actually went for the red primer purely based on the paint that I was using. So I went to Halfords, and there you go, just a red primer. Halfords over here in the UK is just a automobile or car store, and there you go, I chose Audi Laser Red, and that sign actually says for best results use red primer. So that's what I did, and with that done it was time to move on and spray paint the thing. And there it is, all spray painted up. I've never used a can of spray paint before in my life, but I was really happy with the end result. I think I got a nice even coating all over, lovely glossy finish, and the colour is exactly what I wanted. So then we move on to the longest part of the whole process, and that's hand painting all of the gold and all of the silver parts. I use these Citadel paints from Games Workshop, and that is a brush, a brush that I use, a brush. Now I do want to point out that I actually haven't sped up this footage whatsoever. I genuinely do paint like a maniac. Nah, I'm just kidding. It did take a long time though. Yeah, I did want to kill myself by the end. I did take my time with the hand painting though. I wanted it to be just right, and I was going to put it back together, and then if I needed to put second coat on I was going to do it at that stage, just in case I chipped it in the stage of putting it back together. But there it is, all finished with its first coat of paint at least. And then I moved on to the electrics, and that was pretty easy, just a battery pack hooked up to a chocolate box, all the positives into one, all the negatives into the other. And there it is, just a test run with the raw plugs pushed in and the lights held in. They held in pretty well, but with all that done, it's time to suit up. Shit. So now that it's all put back together, it looks exactly the same as when it started. Well, this is just the shot before, and this is what it looks like now. Now I did have a stab at weathering it. I did use Cosplay Chris's technique of using shoe polish. I use exactly the same brand, but this is what it looks like with the lights off, and you can see I was really happy with the eyes. This is what it looked like from behind before, and this is what it looks like now. Again, I did have a go at the weathering. I think that's something that I need to do more. I need more practice on that. But overall, I think I'm really happy with it. The lights look really good there. I'm really pleased with it. So back to the studio. So there we have it, my very own Hulkbuster. Overall, I had a blast doing this. I've never tried anything like this before, but I had so much fun with it, making it and putting the video together, particularly that suit up scene. I really enjoyed doing that. Obviously, a huge shout out to Cosplay Chris. Obviously, his video inspired me to do this, and a big thank you to my dad as well for letting me use his tools and basically take over his shed, and for all his good advice. I couldn't have done it without him, and I'm pretty pleased with the results. But what do you guys think? Did you enjoy this video? Do you think I should do more like this? I'm always going to do movie reviews. That's what I love doing the most, but I really enjoyed doing this, and if you guys want more, then maybe I'll do some more in the future. But for now, thanks very much for watching, and don't forget to share the Lave. Oh, I didn't have the lights on. There we go. Lights are on now. I'm not going to refilm that. Subscribe.